I mean, another astonishing revelation, really, that someone with all your experience of performing could be suffering from this terrible stage fright.
It was on this very stage, Piers, where I was doing Joseph here in Chicago, where the room would start spinning because of panic. And years later, after a lot of therapy and figuring out what happened, we figured that the reason why I went through it was I lost my career. I know what that feels like. And then I got it back again, and I didn't want to lose it again.
Fear of it going again.
Fear of it, losing it again. So I had to give a perfect performance. If I made a mistake one night, the following night, I would make the same mistake because I worry about making a mistake so much that I forget my lines. And it was just a compounding effect to where it was self-defeating.
Quite scary for you.
That word doesn't even do it justice. It was more than scary. Like my wife said, I would go on stage knowing I would die, but I'd go on anyway.
Knowing you would die? What do you mean?
That's what you feel like. You're going through such panic and fright that you know you will die. And in some ways, I shouldn't say this, but in some ways, you wish you would. You get a relief of all this pressure, of all this panic, all this, but you'd fight through it.
And again, I mean, the crucial crux of support came from your wife.
Oh, big time. She gave me some advice that really was the beginning of getting rid of it all. It was in Minneapolis at the State Theater there. And I was going through such panic, I was shaking, I was throwing things across the room. I said, get my understudy on, I'm not going on. She grabbed me. This sweet little girl grabbed me. And she said, why don't you do yourself a favor? And why don't you do the audience a favor? You go out there tonight and do an average job. Best show I ever did.
Why is there this kind of feeling about Mormons that they're a bit odd? How important to all of you is your faith? You're all Mormons. Tell me about that.
That's my life. You know, a lot of people don't agree with the tenets of what I believe. I wholeheartedly believe it. I'm a Mormon because I want to be, not because my parents were.
Why is there this kind of feeling about Mormons that they're a bit odd, do you think?
Well, because there's a lot of misconceptions.
Because you seem perfectly normal.
Yeah, me and my 17 wives, you know, we get along just great.
Is that one of the problems? That people think you're all
polygamous?
Yes.
Well, the problem is there's a bunch of polygamists out there who call themselves Mormons. Right. Give us a bad name. Yes, there was that practice back in the 1800s. Very, very few people were told to practice it. But anybody practicing polygamy is excommunicated from the Mormon Church. It is not part of the
What does your faith give you?
Well, my foundation. It gives me the ability to look at life as it really is. I'm a Christian. I follow the life of Christ. And he said, love everyone. Love everyone. Gay, straight, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists. Well, I love them all. I don't have any prejudices but against anyone. That, in my opinion, is the true Christian.
We talked a little bit about your family, your marriage to Debbie and everything. I was told that she had a poster of Donny Osmond on her bedroom wall before you hooked up. Is that right?
That is true. Yeah, but there's
basically a fan.
Well, but there's a backstory to it. She put my poster on the back of her door. David Cassidy was on the front.
So she couldn't have Cassidy.
No, but no.
Second best.
Second best was me. She settled for me. But what really got to me was the fact I said, honey, you did that so when people opened the door, they'd never see Donny. They'd always see David. And then she came back and said, no, but when they closed the door, I always looked at you. I said, whatever.
We talked a little bit about your marriage, but what do you think the secret is to a successful, enduring marriage?
Well, whenever we have an argument, she's always right.
And you've now accepted that?
Yeah, that keeps you married. No, I joke about that, but you know, there's a lot of truth in that, Piers. My wife and I have argued. We've disagreed. I can't say we've really argued. But I can honestly tell you, I can't remember what it was about. Because it doesn't matter. You know, you got to look at the end of the race. And it doesn't matter who wins. Just win together.
How are you in yourself now? Are you vain?
It's quite funny. I'm a little self-conscious, you'd believe this. I'm self-conscious about my smile. I don't really like my smile.
What?
I know that sounds really weird.
You have the most grotesquely good smile in the history of show business.
I want you to look at something. Look at the center of my teeth and look at the center of my face. It's off-centered.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, so that,
talk about narcissism.
All right, let's get off of that.
You're probably the best-looking grandfather I've seen.
Thank you.
And that irks me almost as much as you taking all my girlfriends when I was a teenager.
Thank you.
Be honest, how did that feel when you were told you're a granddad?
I felt really old. Really old. But my nature is that I act like a kid. My wife always tells me, come on, act your age, will you?
Donny, you've been performing for 50 years, as I've said. And I came last night to witness for myself, firsthand, a bit of Donny mania. Watch this. An angel-faced 6-year-old Donny made his first ever appearance on stage in Chicago nearly 50 years ago. All these years later, he's back again. So here I am at the Oriental Theatre in Chicago, where tension is mounting before the fabulous Donny Marie show kicks off, and some of Donny Osmond's most fervent fans are about to storm the ramparts. And I'm going to ask them why they love him so much.
After seeing him in Joseph in that loincloth, that did it.
She's the world's biggest Donny Osmond fan.
Are you both basically in love with Donny?
She is.
Well,
Mine's
Really?
more of a like relationship.
If you could get him to sing for you now, what would you ask him to sing?
And they called it puppy love.
they called it puppy love.
Oh, they call it puppy love.
One bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, girl. That's all I know.
The show is about to start. Go get Donny, girls. Come on, in you go. Some of these fans told me they've literally been coming to watch you perform 40, 50 years now.
That's amazing.
What do you feel about that?
Well, it's what an honor, you know.
Well, thousands of times. in
I
some
know of
cases.
a lady in London, as a matter of fact, she lives in London, saw Joseph 97 times.
Amazing.
I did 2,000 times. You're going to see a video that I did with my brothers. We did Love Me for a Reason. And you know, obviously can't have them on stage and travel around with
I
them.
love that song.
I love it too.
I remember you all swaying together.
Yeah.
Love me for a reason. Let
We didn't
the
look like
reason
that.
be
We looked
love.
like this.
I remember it.
Okay.
I could be one of the band. couldn't
No,
I?
you couldn't.
Your
Pierce.
brothers aren't here. Come on.
Dream on,
Have a
Pierce.
seat.
Dream on.
I am now going to have one of the great honours of my life. I'm going to start the Donny and Marie show.
This is the countdown clock, and you're going to start it.
Osmonds, we are go. Donny's performing new songs in the show, but to the delight of his fans, he's knocking out all the old favourites too. Including, of course, Puppy Love, this time with a broken voice.
And they called it puppy love. Oh, I guess they'll never know.
But what did the audience make of tonight's show?
I loved it. I loved it. I got Donny's shirt and I bought his bracelets that say Donny Osmond. It was amazing. It brought back memories.
He's still sexy.
Oh my God! Yes, he's the sexiest man alive.
You've brought joy to so many for so many years, and I just wish you all God's blessings, and thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Well, I loved it.
They must have gotten my checks.
You know what I love, though? The generational span
Yeah,
of the women in the audience last night.
it is. What a compliment that is. It
really
To
is.
be able to have that span of generations. It's kind of cool.
It is cool. Of all the amazing things you've experienced, good and bad, with the exception of births of children, marriage, that kind of thing, what would be the moment you would replay again? What's been the greatest moment for you?
So many of them. Right now, I would pick that one moment here in Chicago. I was 5 years old and I did my first show.
Would you really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
It defined who I am.
So good, bad,
I've gone
warts
through
and all.
ups and downs and in-betweens and everything. But that was the moment when I sang You Are My Sunshine that did it. That started it.
Would you change anything? Or do you think all the highs and lows framed the man you've become?
I've gotten to the point now where I am Donny Osmond, and
Are you comfortable with that?
I am. I am.
You've learned to love Donny again.
I wouldn't say I love Donny Osmond. You know, that's a little narcissistic. But I like me. I like who I am. I like the skin that I'm in. I'm not perfect, and I accept those flaws. I'm a very, very lucky guy compared to what I could have been because of the ups and downs and where I could have gone. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed. Let's use that word, very blessed.
Well, Donny, it's taken me nigh on 35 years to come to terms with Donny Osmond, the damage he wrought on my love life in those early years.
I'm sorry.
I've got to say, you've turned out to be a pretty good guy.
Oh, thank you.
It's been a real pleasure.
Same here, Piers.
Thank you very much.
Well, next tonight, a true Christmas classic, Dudley Moore stars as an